NFL is expected to pass in May what I think will be one of the most dramatic changes in the NFL, and that is given the choice to now have a two-pointer from the 1.5-yard line or go back to the 20-yard line and kick a 33-yard one-point conversion. But I think there's also a third aspect of this that people are not paying attention to, that the defensive team can get the ball on an interception or fumble recovery or block, as you do in college football, and go down and get 2 points. Pete, what do you think of the chances are of it passing? I hear it's pretty good. And what do you think of that rule and what kind of effect it'll have on football games and coaches having to make decisions they don't want to make?
Well, it's great to see the coaches have to be facing more decisions so we can scrutinize the heck out of them. And it's great to see them. I mean, those guys botch more in-game decisions than people lead on anyways. I mean, let's just go for example. I'm going to go back to the end of the Super Bowl before I get to answer your question. But Bill Belichick botched the end of that game by not calling timeout and got away with it. I mean, and then he also botched the end of the Ravens play. Think about that for a second. The end of the Ravens game, they ended up punting to Jacoby Jones and then had a Hail Mary fall incomplete. Otherwise, they lose the game. All because he botched the end of the game and mismanaged the clock. Then he goes to the Super Bowl, does the same thing, and this is arguably the greatest coach in the league and one of the best ever. So now you're giving him more decisions to make and more times to screw it up. For us, it's fantastic because we love that and we can debate it and chop them to pieces. Here's my advice to all those coaches out there right now. Go hire some bookworm to stand next to you and become analytical and calculate it all and listen to him. If he says go for it in that situation, you go for it. If he says kick it, you kick it. And, hire a situational coach because clearly they all botch it and they're all not very good at it. As for the rules, look, an extra point is the most, you know what that is? That's the time when everybody gets up and goes to use the bathroom before they come back to the kickoff. That's what the extra point is. So putting some more strategy into it is fun from our standpoint. But why does the NFL always feel like it has to tweak the game? And,
I said that yesterday. It's the most popular game in America. Why do you have to keep changing things? The rule book, Pete, already is as thick as the New York City phone book.
Sure.
Yeah, and here's one is a scout told me this the other day. He said it's like when you were a kid, you built the model airplane. And everything was looking good, and then all of a sudden you go, you know what, I'm going to take it apart and start putting some other things on it and use this over here and that over there. Next thing you know, you had a piece of garbage. And that's what the NFL does. The NFL has to step back sometimes and say, hey, the most popular game, it's a great game. Why do you always got to tweak it? So, I get it. It's fun. It'll bring some excitement to those plays that are usually not very exciting, but it's going to be fun from our standpoint to put some more strategic situations involved with the coaches. I'll say this, the rule that nobody paid attention to that I thought was one was, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will now carry over to the second half. And I always thought that was a good way to get a free cheap shot in for everybody. You cheap shot them on the last play of the half and you don't get penalized for it. It doesn't carry over. Well, now it carries over. So, it's like when you're backed up on your own 1-yard line, and it's like, the worst thing they can do is go back a half inch or an inch. Why not get a good cheap shot in there? It's the same situation with that play.
Yeah.
So, I love it, Pete. I love it.
So like the end of the Super Bowl, there were some cheap shots that kind of came in.
Pete,
that could have come into play though, because if they had been able to get out of it or something. But I get you. It's the exact kind of situation. though. You're right.